Emirates, Qatar Airways, and Etihad operate nearly 600 wide-body jets between them. It is a fleet designed to turn the Middle East into the center of global aviation. Unlike traditional national carriers, these airlines don't exist to move their own citizens. The UAE has a population of roughly 10 million, not nearly enough to justify hundreds of super jumbos. Their model relies on geography. They act as a natural waypoint, picking up passengers in Mumbai or Delhi and funneling them through a Gulf hub before sending them onward to Europe or the Americas. India is the primary driver of this traffic. Without the volume of Indian travelers flowing through their hubs, the economics of dozens of long-haul routes to secondary Western cities would face a significant shortfall. The current Gulf aviation model leverages this geographic position to capture a dominant share of the Indian transit market. For years, that arrangement worked because Air India was a decaying, state-owned institution. Travelers actively avoided the national carrier, choosing a connection in Dubai over broken seats and ancient entertainment systems. But the Indian government has begun to push back. They have frozen bilateral seat caps since 2014, repeatedly denying the UAE's requests for 50,000 additional weekly seats. On the surface, the threat seems minimal. Air India is currently losing over $1 billion a year and is struggling to maintain a consistent fleet. Yet, the world's most successful airlines are genuinely nervous. Why are the giants of the industry so terrified of an airline that is currently in operational mess? They are watching a high-stakes bet where future geopolitical leverage matters more than immediate profitability. The shift began when the Tata Group acquired Air India and placed an order for 470 aircraft, a $70 billion commitment aimed directly at the routes currently flowing through the Gulf. The goal for these wide-body jets is to offer ultra-long-haul, non-stop flights. By flying directly from India to the West, Air India can completely bypass the traditional Middle Eastern transit hubs entirely. The geography is simple. A direct Delhi to London flight takes 9 hours. Connecting through Dubai adds 3 hours. For premium passengers driving airline profits, that time gap is everything. Air India is positioning to capture travelers valuing hours over a luxury layover. This fleet order is the hardware required to challenge the Gulf's long-standing dominance of Indian long-haul travel. But new planes take time to arrive. If the Gulf carriers have a superior product right now, why don't they simply lower their prices and outcompete Air India today? Instead, they are hitting a regulatory wall. The bilateral agreement limits flights between India and the UAE to about 66,000 seats per week, a cap that hasn't changed in a decade. This isn't a bureaucratic oversight. The Indian government is using these seat caps as a protectionist tool, artificially constraining supply to prevent foreign carriers from expanding. By restricting access, the government is buying Air India a window of time. It ensures that when those new planes finally arrive, the market won't already be saturated by their competitors. Tata's capital is only half the story. The other half is a state-sponsored shield designed to keep the competition at bay. However, that shield is protecting a very fragile operation. Air India is burning through cash, absorbing the cost of a massive merger while its losses increased by nearly 50% last year. Today, the passenger experience remains wildly inconsistent. Depending on the day, a traveler might board a brand new A350 or a legacy jet with worn seats and broken electronics. They are also facing a severe pilot shortage. New flight time rules have increased the number of captains needed, leading to a bidding war that has forced Air India to offer massive signing bonuses just to staff their planes. And the competition isn't just coming from the Gulf. Domestic leader Indigo has ordered hundreds of its own aircraft, including long-haul wide-bodies, signaling its intent to fight Air India for the same international traffic. Air India has the strategy, but its timeline is narrow. It is a race to build a world-class airline before the money or the protectionist window runs out. The assumption that Indian travelers would always be forced to transit through the Middle East is no longer a certainty. Geographic centrality only provides a market advantage if a stopover is necessary. As soon as direct routes become available, those massive hubs become optional. For the first time, Indian carriers have the combination of private capital, a modern long-haul fleet, and government backing to compete globally. The risk remains with execution. Tata must still transform a legacy of mismanagement into a consistent, reliable service that can actually win over the passengers currently flying on Emirates or Qatar. Tata is betting $70 billion that Indian travelers will choose the direct path. If they can deliver, the Middle Eastern hubs will transition from essential gateways into just one of many options for the global traveler.